is Harichandana Prabhu. Prabhu is very familiar to our congregation, but he does not need any introduction. But it's our pleasure to glorify devotees with their services they do. So Prabhu does many services like cooking for the big festivals. He is the cooking lead for the festivals, and he also does book distribution, and he does fundraising along with Keshav Pani Prabhu. He coordinates and does for temple construction, fundraising for the temple construction, and also he does menial service like cleaning bathroom. Yeah, that is everybody thinks that is not a service, but that is also need to be conditioned, otherwise we cannot use. Prabhu takes that service in a humble mood. With that, we'll glorify Prabhu and welcome by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Prabhu. Yeah, all Prabhu, can you come forward? Only 2 columns, Prabhu. Yeah, we can sit there.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji is also come forward. Whoever comes later, they can join at the behind.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Satyarva Gaurang Prabhu, for this kind words. I'm not sure if I deserve it all, but thank you so much. I would like to thank Satyasar Prabhuji and Jai Subhadra Mataji for this opportunity. Hare Krishna. Should I keep saying? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I would like to thank Satyasar Prabhuji and Jai Subhadra Mataji for giving me this opportunity. Even though I'm not at all qualified for this, I'll still do it as a service and to purify myself, I guess. I welcome all the devotees here on a Sunday afternoon. You might have chosen to sleep some more extra hours on a Sunday. But you came to Sunday feast. Thank you so much. We are very honored and grateful to have you all here. We'll start with small song, Jai Radha Madhav, to invite auspiciousness, and then we'll go from there. As you can see, I'm a little nervous, so. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Varadhari. Jaya Gopi Jana. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Varadhari. यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद की जय. So today we will read from Bhagavad Gita chapter 17, the divisions of faith, and verse 28. So we can pull up on internet vedabase.com or vedabase.io, or you can just type on Google BG 17.28. It should open up, and just click on the first link. I think we'll start. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastam tam kritam chayat asat ityauchyate partha na cha tat pretya no iha. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asad iti uchyate partha na cha tat pretya no iha. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asad ityauchyate partha na cha tat pretya no iha. Anyone of you would like to try? Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asad ityauchyate partha na chap tat pretya no iha. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asad ityauchyate partha na cha tat pretya no iha. Any Matajis? Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asad ityauchyate partha na cha tat pretya no iha. Wonderful. Keshavani Prabhu, I know you raised your hand. Would you like to do it? Okay. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastam tam kritam chayat asat ityachyate partha na cha tat pretya no iha. One Mataji's. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asat ityuchyate partha na cha tat pretya no iha. Okay, we'll read the translation. This translation is given by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Pritha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next life. We'll offer some prayers to our Guru Parampara and then we'll get started. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Gunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Shilita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pankum langayate girim yat kripatamham vande paramananda madhavam. I just hope and pray to all the assembled Vaishnavas to please bless and shower your best wishes so that the right words come at the right time, in the right mood, so that your coming out here in the Sunday afternoon makes some sense. So I'll do my best, and please bless me so that I can do that. So, as we read the translation given by Srila Prabhupada, it was very obvious. Krishna mentions that this yadna, tapa, dan, this kind of things, when it is done for Om Tat Sat, are the best, right? And it's the best, and also it should be done in Shraddha, means faith. Most of our class will be around faith. So, but anything done without Shraddha, Ashraddhaya, like the word in this verse, the very first word is Ashraddhaya, means without faith. Ashraddhaya hutam, performed without faith. What is performed without faith? Any tapa, charity or penances, whatever. When they are done without faith, they are what? They are asat, right? Impermanent. Like they don't give us any fruit. Nothing comes out of it if we don't keep the Om Tat Sat in middle, or we don't perform it in his name. So it becomes asat, and we will look for material gains out of it and all those kind of stuff. So those are all not good. And one more thing Krishna says here is it's not good for this life and also not good for next life. So this is a good verse that we can quote if people ask, oh, do you believe in next life or life after birth? Like here Krishna is confirming. What is he confirming? That there is next life. And what else he is confirming? That if you don't do any of the tapa, dana, without keeping me in middle, you are for sure going to come in next life. That's what he's confirming, right? So we should be very careful now. Like whatever we are trying to do, let's make sure if we can have Krishna in middle, that will be good. So yeah, of course, when it is done for the Supreme Lord, the Lord acts as the fire, right? Like the yadna, right? Even sometimes we like, because we have an upbringing, we come from a culture where we do certain things in a certain way. While growing up, I was mostly doing things without knowing what it is for. So that also we get some ajnana sukriti, right? We will get that. But that will help you eventually. But here the point is, whatever we do, we have to do with Shraddha, like faith. But while you're growing up, you're a kid, you don't know what it is, but you still do it. So you'll get Ajnan Sukriti. It will help you at certain point in your life, maybe uplifting you towards the faith, towards Krishna. That's all Krishna decides, I guess. But the here point is, we have to do in faith. Sometimes we do things for material benefit and whatnot. So that means we are entangled in this, or we are affected by these three modes of material nature, right? But this is what not Srila Prabhupada teachings are. He said we have to transcend these three modes of material nature. We have to come out of this three modes of material nature. So that the way we do it is to have faith in Krishna and do everything for Krishna, right? So the Prabhupada writes in this purport, anything done without the transcendental activities, any penance charity, is useless. And therefore, it is confirmed in this verse that such activities are abominable, not recommended at all, or it won't lead you anywhere. And everything should be done for the Supreme. And done for the Supreme, but in Krishna consciousness, right? You have to have Krishna in middle all the time. So this is the first point that I thought is coming out of this verse. Firstly, it all should be done in Supreme Personality of Godhead in Krishna consciousness. If it's not done that way, without any faith or without any proper guidance, right, there will be not any fruit for sure. So sometimes what happens, like, oh, we think that we have faith and we do something, right? But sometimes it can mislead us, like what we exactly are doing, right? And we might go in a different track. So that's why we need, as the kids were sharing their realization, we need guru. And that's why a bona fide spiritual master comes into play, that we have to be under their guidance all the time, that someone has to check on us, right? If we are doing it correct, or if we are not doing it correct, or what should be done right, or what is the error, how I can improve on it, all those kind of stuff, right? So we have to be under some guidance, like, and Srila Prabhupada is perfectly, as a coming under the Guru Parampara, has set up nicely in ISKCON all the Guru system. So we should take shelter of Guru as well. I'll talk a little bit on that a little further in the class. Just wanted to give you just. So if we do it without the faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we get entangled in these three modes of material nature, and which contaminates the performance. It's not that purifying, right? It will contaminate, and we won't get it, and it's fruitless. And then we basically get again entangled into these three, and then we get asakt with this, right? In all the Vedic scriptures, faith in the Supreme is advised, right? All the Vedic scriptures talk about that. In the pursuit of all the Vedic instruction, the ultimate goal is to understand Krishna. That's the Supreme. That's what our human birth is all about. We have to understand Krishna, right? No one can obtain any success without following this instruction, without following any of the Vedic injunctions that we have. Therefore, the best course of work is, so how do we do this? Like, so we basically, what we should do is to act in Krishna consciousness from the very beginning. Like, whatever we do, we bring Krishna at the very start. Like, we should not be like, oh, let me figure this out and then I'll bring Krishna. And if something doesn't go right, then I should pray to Krishna. No. In all our plans, and that's why we start with prayers whenever we give class or whenever we have meetings. So that's why we always do everything starting in keeping Krishna in middle, and also considering him at the very first, right? And under the guidance of spiritual master. We cannot do this without spiritual master. Otherwise, we can be misled very easily, and sometimes we hear that, oh, it's all about us, and we talk about the Advaita philosophy, right? And we are the Lord, and we try to merge into something and whatnot. So the service attitude doesn't come. If the service attitude doesn't come, then the faith doesn't evolve that much, and faith to serve the Lord won't come. And as again the kids, one of the kids were talking about, I think it was Gaur Madhva, talking about that we should not take shelter of any fake gurus, which is important, right? We should know who the fake gurus are, and whom to take shelter with. How do you know who the fake gurus are? One easy way is to be under a bona fide sampradaya. As per our scripture, there are only 4 sampradayas, and ISKCON comes under Madhva Sampradaya, right? Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we can take shelter from gurus here, right? This is what ISKCON is all about, right? So it is very important to have faith in Krishna consciousness and in the Supreme Personality of God. In the 4th chapter, 39th verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Shraddhaval labte jnanam tatpara samatendriya jnanam labdva param shantim achirena tigachati. So what it says is, one who is faithful in Krishna consciousness, will attain the transcendental knowledge. So he will get out of these 3 modes of material nature, and with that knowledge he progresses very soon. And what that progress does, to achieve the service of Krishna and go back to Godhead, right? That's what Krishna is confirming, that you have to have faith, and you have to perform everything in faith, so that you can progress and come back to me, right? And then we don't have to be in this birth and death cycle. So there is a small story I would like to say a little bit. So the story, I'm not sure if this really happened, but it's a good story to take something out of it. So south part of India, one time in some years, was hit by a drought. It's a very common phenomena in India, right? It was hit by a drought. So people were starving to death in the village and whatnot, right? It was very difficult for people to survive. So the sarpanch, or the head of the village, said that, okay, what we'll do is we'll perform some austerity and do some yajna to please some of the demigods, so that they can shower with rain and we can try to come out of the drought. So with the sarpanch, I guess everyone accepted that. I guess there was no other option. So he said, okay, let's start working on it. So all the village people started working on the yajna, getting preparation done and all those kind of things. And then the day of yajna came. So every villagers were walking to that yajna place, but there was one guy who was a little different. He was walking to the yajna, but he was walking with an umbrella. So the entire village was bemused. And they were like saying to him, are you mad? There is not even a single sign of cloud, and you have an umbrella with you for what? That man internally was thinking, I thought the yajna is performed for rain, and if there is rain, I have to be careful and not get myself wet, right? So that's why I got an umbrella. But he didn't say to anyone. He said, okay, whatever. But then yajna happened, couple of hours, and then people took prasadam. And after prasadam, as people were going out, the sky darkened at that time as people were about to walk, and there was heavy shower of rain, right? Heavy shower. And all the villagers were going to him, trying to come under the umbrella. And then that guy said, basically others people started taking shelter of his umbrella. So that guy said, this is what is faith, right? We have the faith that we'll do the yajna to perform some yajna, and then so that we can get rain. So we have to be prepared for it. So this is what the faith is. If you're not faithful, let's not do yajna. That's what he said to everyone. But similarly, Krishna consciousness, we should have faith in the process. So that the faith should be for what? That we should have faith that we'll get purified to go back to attain Krishna and go back to Godhead, right? And this is foremost important, especially in the sadhana bhakti. We need a very deep faith so that we can keep continuing it. Otherwise, we can totally get bewildered or get sidetracked, and if our faith is not that strong, then we won't be able to completely follow Krishna consciousness, right? So we should have very firm faith in firm faith in Supreme Personality Godhead, not like demigods or Rakshasas and whatnot, right? Just in Krishna, right? He should be taking care of it. Okay, so that's like a little introduction. I would like to, most of the talk from here will be on faith. So I have some things that we do in daily life that we don't even realize that how much we are dependent on faith. So how many of us live by faith daily without realizing it, right? I'll give you some few examples, right? Driving a car, right? We have faith that the technology inside the car is working and the engine will pump right and it will go right. Not only that, we have faith that when we are driving on the road, the other drivers will drive right. It's very subtle, but we have faith on those things, right? Another example is banking system. We try to keep our money in the bank. Most of us, I'm assuming 100% of us, try to keep money in the bank. No one keeps money at home, especially some Matajis here and there might keep somewhat. My wife does, so. But anyways, but we trust that when we need that money, the bank will give us that money back, right? Or whatever you have, right? So there is a faith that we have in the banking system. Another example I would like to give is airplane travel. I know the technology of airplane has been baked in for last 100 years, so we trust it. But do we trust the pilot? We don't even see his degree, but we trust that he will take good care of us, and he will take us from place A to place B. So if we can have faith on all these imperfect human systems, why we hesitate to trust Krishna's perfect system, right? So we should think about, like, we should contemplate on these things, like, and how I can build more faith, right? Taking faith to, like, at a relationship level, right? In early days in India, or I'll give my family example. My mom never saw my dad before getting married. But I think she had faith that this will work out. And I think she had the right faith. It worked out. Like, I'm here, right? So it worked out, somewhat worked out. Same with mom and the newborn. The baby trusts the mother instinctively. Like, he knows that's a shelter. If I go there, where does that come from? Like, it's all subtle, but there is a faith pillar to it where everyone rests on, right? So just as the relationship can fail without trust, we have to be very careful. Our bhakti can fail without trust or without faith, right? So we have to keep that faith. One more thing, I'd like to give an example. Sometimes like, for example, Wi-Fi, we know how to use it. We know it works. We know if I send a message from here, it will go over Wi-Fi and whatnot. But we don't know the actual functioning of it, like how exactly it works internally, right? So similarly, the laws of karma, devotion, spiritual rewards work. But sometimes we don't totally understand how exactly it works. And that is mostly because we have conditioning from previous life, conditioning from this life, and we have something in our front of our eyes that we have to clean, that we need guru for that, to help us with that. So that's why we don't understand those things. Similarly, for Wi-Fi, we don't understand, but we use it and we have faith that it will work. Similarly, sometimes we don't understand all the laws of karma or devotion or spiritual work, but we should still have faith. But at the same time, we should just not have like a blind faith, right? We should keep contemplating on that, so that we always feed in the error so that we get better at it, right? So we operate on, now it's clear that we operate on faith every moment, right? So why should faith in Krishna be difficult, right? So it's basically whatever faith we have to put it towards Krishna, right? With that energy, we have to bring it toward Krishna, right? I would like to talk about escape velocity real quick. How many of you here know about escape velocity? Cool, quite a few. Okay, cool. So one who don't know, escape velocity is a velocity that any object has to reach to come out of a gravitational pull of so if there is an object A and object B, so every object has some gravitation, like, towards each other. So if object A has to come out of this gravitation, out of this, so it has to attain some velocity, and that velocity is 11.2 kilometer per second. So for rockets, when we launch it, for it to go up high, they burn a lot of fuel so that the energy comes, so that it goes high. But all the purpose is to reach that escape velocity so that it can come out of Earth's gravitational pull, so that they can easily go wherever they are going, right? So this all energy goes in there. So even if it falls short of like 0.1 kilometer per second, it will come down crashing. And we have seen rockets have failed in past. I would like to draw a spiritual parallel here on this basis. So let's assume the gravitational pulls are like the material distractions, lust, anger, greed, right? That's like Earth's gravity. That's pulling us. Faith in Krishna is rocket's fuel. Okay? If our faith is too weak and the fuel is not enough in rocket, it will for sure come back because it will not attain 11.2 kilometer per second escape velocity. So if our faith is too weak, we will keep falling to this material distractions. What are those? Lust, anger, distress, a lot of things, right? Even a powerful spacecraft cannot leave Earth without full escape velocity. Similarly, we cannot attain Krishna consciousness without unwavering faith. So we have to find our escape velocity. We have to have that faith to reach that escape velocity so that we come out of this material distractions, so that we can, for that we need faith, right? Same, like the scientists are dependent on escape velocities, right? They try to make technology so efficient, they try to reach escape velocity sooner or with less fuel and whatnot, right? So this is just a parallel I want to draw. In scriptural example, Prahlad Maharaj, right? He had unwavering faith towards Krishna. He knew that Krishna is the supreme and I will be taken care of no matter what. Even though his dad was a Rakshasa or a demon, right? And he was doing a lot of throwing him into fire and all those kind of things, right? But he had deep faith, right? So he had 100% trust in Krishna. Sometimes what happens is like we not necessarily will have like full faith, like we'll have partial faith, right? But that's okay. I think that's okay. I think at least you have some faith that will eventually elevate you to the full faith. So in Shastra, can you guys come up with an example of a partial faith and then it got converted into full faith? What? Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That can be. Yeah. Anyone else? One more try. There you go. Draupadi. She had some faith that she knew, yeah, Krishna is there. But she was first dependent on, she hold on to her sari first. But she didn't knew that how powerful the guys who were pulling it are, right? And then they started yelling in the assembly for help. No one came because it was against the game somehow. But anyways, but at last she called Krishna, Krishna, Govinda, and Krishna came right away and to save her. So faith is not just believing Krishna exists, is trusting he personally act on us, right? He personally acts for us, right? He will always take care of us. He will always protect us. So that's why we need to develop for that faith to Krishna. So faith is like an escape velocity for breaking the material bondage. Even whatever great ritual we do, like especially in household in India, we do a lot of vidhi or rituals we perform without even knowing. So we don't have any faith. It's empty. That's what Prabhupada mentioned. It's empty. It's of no use. It will give you no fruit. Right? So I'll give a couple of more examples. Like Ravana did a lot of austerities, a lot of penances to attain what he got. Right? He got everything. But what was the end result of it? He was killed by Rama. If he would have done the same thing, but keeping Rama or Krishna in middle, probably that situation might have not come. Right? Also in Krishna book, there is mention of Banasura, the pastime of Krishna, but Krishna not killing Banasura, but there is a fight. Banasura was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva, right? And he did a lot of penances, sacrifices and whatnot to get to what he was at that time, right? But during the war, the situation came where Banasura was almost getting defeated, but Lord Shiva came because he was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva came in between, and Lord Shiva requested Krishna that he is my pure devotee, don't kill him. Now Krishna listened to Lord Shiva. Why? Because Lord Shiva is a pure devotee of Krishna. Like, he's the number one Vaishnava. We always read that, we hear that. So Krishna agreed. Krishna just said, I'll just take out some of his arms, and then no, I'll give him a boon that no one will kill him, right? And especially the reason why he did that is because he comes from Prahlad Maharaj, and that was a boon given to them, right? So again, Lord Shiva had the faith that Krishna will listen. So he went to Krishna. So we can practice. So faith is also building upon bhakti, right? So we can practice devotion with trust in Krishna's protection. So we should ask ourselves, are we reaching our escape velocity, or are we stuck in the pull of material life, right? If we can contemplate, I know it's difficult. We get sucked into a lot of different things and whatnot. So let's try to see what happens if we don't reach that escape velocity, or what happens if we don't reach the rocket doesn't reach an escape velocity. Like what happens? The rocket will fall back on Earth, like no matter how close it gets to the escape velocity, right? It will for sure fall down, right? So that's how powerful the gravitation is. Similarly, the material distractions are very powerful. So we have to have very staunch escape velocity or faith, right? So if we don't strengthen our faith, which to reach our escape velocity, we will fall back into material doubts and distraction, and will ask wrong questions, and we won't respect our gurus or anyone superior, and they will say this, blah, blah, blah. Like anything can come out of it. Why sometimes these things happen is at least laziness in sadhana. We have to be very on it. Like we have to chant our rounds every day, no matter what, right? We like, there might be extreme cases where you cannot, like, and Krishna sees that. Our gurus are okay with it as well. We start skipping japa or scripture reading and whatnot. Like we should make it a point. Like if we are standing on our feet, then we should do that day chanting and reading scriptures or whatever sadhana you have planned for yourself in a day. We should do that. Sometimes while doing service and whatnot, we seek for recognitions also, right? So that is also one of the downfall. Like we seek for recognition. We are doing devotional service to please the Lord and not to please ourselves, right? So we should not look for recognitions, right? And it's good. Like our Vaishnava culture gives recognition, but we can take that recognition and give it to our guru or to Krishna or whoever, whatnot. And sometimes we also doubt in Krishna. Does he really care? Like we'll go in the corner and maybe we'll talk to him. Do you really care? That is also not good. That for sure won't. That will reduce our escape velocity. That will reduce our velocity, because our energy has to be diverted. Like all the energy in this material world has to go somewhere or the other, right? So if you say, do you really care? If you think that way, then you'll start trying to find something else that you think cares for you. So that energy from Krishna goes somewhere else. So that will for sure not help with our faith, right? So just like a rocket must be properly fueled to escape, we must fuel our faith through proper sadhana, right? We should do that like through proper sadhana, chanting, reading, devotee association, and if you have questions, ask them and whatnot. Half hearted launch leads to failure. Like if so, when a rocket is launched, they have to make sure a lot of things are going right. Otherwise, they won't launch it. Because it will lead to failure. So we must fully commit to reaching Krishna. So we have to be fully ready with all our sadhanas and whatnot, with our practices, what we do, so that we can reach to Krishna. Especially, we should not be like, oh, we reached Krishna, what we should do. So we should be ready to see Krishna. Right? Sometimes we'll be like, oh, because he will be so glorious looking and very nice looking, handsome cowherd boy in Golok Vrindavan. We were like, oh, was I praying for him? Why? He looks very no. But we should be knowing, we should have our eyes ready to serve him, to see him at that position. So Krishna's message is what? Faithless worship is wasted effort. So whatever we do without faith, if we are doing 16 rounds or whatever rounds we are doing without faith, it's all waste. You're giving up your 2 hours it's going nowhere. So we have to be very careful, like we have to chant very faithfully. Even if an action looks spiritual, like we do a lot of things, it might look spiritual, but if we don't have faith in Krishna, it doesn't have that potency. It won't have that potency. Like the same way a machine without a power source, or this guy without a battery, won't function. So its capabilities are zero, right? No matter how advanced that machine or anything is, right? So spiritual action without faith are powerless. Sometimes we see people doing good, like doing charities, creating hospitals and whatnot. I won't say they are bad, but they are still done in that 3 modes of mode of goodness, passion. That's what not Srila Prabhupada preached us. He said we have to transcend, like we have to come out of this. We have to always do things for Krishna. True charity is faithful service to Krishna and not ego. Sometimes people donate to satisfy their own ego so that 4 people can come and praise them, so that they feel an authority, that someone is giving us some authority, and that's why they give. Right. Similarly, we have to be very careful in chanting. Right. We should not do offensive chanting. Right. We have to give our sincere effort to chant. And I don't know, but you will for sure, if you keep doing chanting very faithfully, you'll for sure see some spiritual progress. Right. You'll ask for more service, or you'll say, okay, it looks like I'm getting little bit elevated, or things are making more sense. I'll start reading Bhagavad Gita, or I'll start Bhagavatam, or I'll start something in the temple like Kirtan or something like that, right? So that's how you know that you're making progress, right? That's how your spiritual progress is. You're trying to align yourself to engage in Krishna all the time. That's how you will know that your chanting is going right, your sadhana is going right, right? So faith is a very first step. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Madhya Lila, 22nd chapter and 62nd verse, it says, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Shuddhida Nishchaya Krishne Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Kritva Haya. So Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. So faith is the very first thing that we need to have to do anything in Krishna consciousness. That's the very first. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila. So faith means strong conviction that by serving Krishna, all duties are fulfilled. Everything should be taken care, no matter what. Right? Also, faith will lead us to step-by-step progression. Right? So, like Adho Shraddha, Tato Sadhu, Sango, Atha Bhajana Kriya, Tato Anartha, Nivritti Syat, Tato Nishtha, Ruchis Tata, Athastak Shaktis, Tato Bhavas, Tatha Premat Pujjanti, Sadhana Kanam, Ayam Premna, Pradur Bhave Bhavit Krama. So, let me try to Yeah. So Adau means in the beginning, Shraddha, firm faith is needed. And then, and thereafter you associate to sadhu sangha. Right? And then you go to bhajana kriya. Right? So slowly, yeah, you're building on faith. You're slowly progressing. Right? And then what you do? Then anartha nivritti. Then what is anartha nivritti? The diminishing of all unwanted habits. Like we have a lot of conditioning. We start giving up those sleeping late, waking up late. I'm giving an example, right? And then nishtha, the firm faith comes. So from faith, we have come to firm faith. Okay. So, but for faith is very first thing. Like it's a catalyst that has to go. So we are in firm faith now. From firm faith, we'll get to ruchi. So all these progressions are for what? Is to attain love of Krishna. Right? Is to go serve him. Right? And then you get attached. You don't get attached to material. You get attached to Krishna or to the services to Krishna. Right? Then the emotions, the bhava comes. Right? And then you get love of God. Right? So all of this is like progression. So we can have like a diary or something that we can write and see what our progress is, where we are at and whatnot. And that's how you achieve. But what is needed is faith. So this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita as well, right? So, but there will be faith. In the beginning, there must be faith, no matter what. So faith is the only thing that is going to uplift us. And in the progression, we'll go sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, and then nishtha, the fame for firm faith will come, and then eventually we'll go to love of God and whatnot, right? So faith is for sure very important. And also faith is not just about believing. It's about acting on that belief, right? It's just like, I trust Krishna. But we have to act on it. How? Like your achar should be such a way that, yeah, you really are dependent on him. You really are dependent. It's not that, yeah, I know Krishna. Yeah, I have some faith. But so we have to act on it, right? The highest expression of faith is complete surrender. So, and Krishna himself declares that in Bhagavad Gita. Final instruction, 1866, he says, Sarva dharman paritagnya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshebhyo samamachuja. Right? That's the ultimate expression of the faith is Krishna directly asks us to surrender unto him without fear. He will protect us no matter what. Right? So that's the ultimate expression of faith, is to complete. Why are we doing all this faith? We have to surrender. Right? So Krishna says, abandon all varieties of dharma and just surrender unto me. Right? I shall deliver you from all the sinful reaction. Do not fear. So this verse requires an absolute faith, because Krishna asks for total surrender, promising complete protection. Like we have to have faith to trust on this verse. Otherwise we won't. We were like, okay, you're saying, okay, sure, whatever. We have to have faith for the complete surrender, right? And faith is needed to truly surrender. Without faith, surrender will be half-hearted. Oh, I'll do this and I'll also do something else, some material gain and whatnot, right? Just as I was giving an example of a newborn, right? As a child trusts a parent without doubt, a devotee must trust Krishna, nowhere else going. No hodgepodge, just Krishna, that's it. So there are 6 aspects of surrender. I would like to go through that real quick. I know we are running out of time. There are 6 aspects of surrender. Sadvida Sharanagati in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And each of these aspects deepen our faith and fulfills Krishna's call in 1866, right? Whatever we just read in Bhagavad Gita. So there's 6, and we'll see how it connects. So the six aspects of surrender is, so I'll just name acceptance of what is favorable. So anukulasya sankalpa. Okay, acceptance of whatever is favorable. So faith means accepting Krishna, accepting what Krishna wants, right? Doing according to him. Otherwise, if we do according to our mind, we'll go somewhere else. No coming back. We'll just go deep into dark, right? Arjuna had faith and accepted Krishna's instruction to fight, right? He totally surrendered eventually, like, but he had faith at least to talk to Krishna. And then eventually he developed, and then Krishna guided him right. Even when he initially refused in Bhagavad Gita 130, right? He refused. He said, I won't fight. They are my family and this and that. He was attached to them and whatnot. Okay. So acceptance of what is favorable. Anukulyasya sankalpa. Rejection of what is unfavorable. Pratikulasya varjanam. Okay. So faith requires letting go of doubts, sinful habits, and attachments. So Draupadi let go of holding onto her sari and raised her hand. Govinda. And then Krishna protected her. Right? So rejection of what is unfavorable. So pratikulasya varjanam. Full confidence in Krishna's protection. Rakshish yatiti vishwasaha. Krishna is our only protector. We should know that that's it. Krishna is the only protector, no one else. So Prahlad Maharaj, as I gave an example, right? He knew that Krishna is the only protector and he will take care of me no matter what. But misplaced faith like Banasura or Ravana will not give real protection, as we know, right? Ravana was killed by Rama, and then Lord Shiva had to come to save Banasura, right? Dependence on Krishna as a maintainer. Gop tritve varnam. So Krishna maintains all living beings, right? As we know in Bhagavad Gita 9:22, Yogam Shemam Vaham Yaham, right? So Vrajavasis didn't worry about Indra, right? Anger. They depended on Krishna no matter what. And he lifted the Govardhan hill. So it's total dependence. Like, yeah, he will maintain also. Don't worry. So that's a fourth point. The fifth point is humility. So these are six aspects. So we are on the fifth. Humility, which is what? Atma Nikshepa. So faith requires accepting our small position and Krishna's supreme control. So we should always in the mood of surrender as a servant. Like, we should always be small. And we should say, you guide us. And you are in the supreme control. Like, we should not be in the driving position. We should always be very humble, right? Like Bali Maharaj surrendered everything to Vamanadev, right? Despite being a powerful king. So what happens is, if we don't have humility, like, pride will block our surrender. Because the pride will come between us and Krishna. Our pride itself will come. We won't surrender. We'll surrender to our pride, which we know it's going to hit back us at some point. Right? So Banasura lost his arms because of that, because of the pride. He started fighting and whatnot, but Krishna took his arms out. And the sixth surrender is surrender in all circumstances. Karpanne Sharanagati. Faith means surrendering even in the toughest situation. Well, tough situation, we for sure surrender. No matter what. That's our go-to, right? We'll go fall down on his feet. But we have to be surrender in all circumstances. Even everything is going merry, nice, happy. That time we'll go get attached to material a little bit. But at that time also we have to be surrendered. It's all Krishna's arrangement, no matter what. Right? So I would like to, like Gajendra, right? He just total surrender. Now I would like to make a connection between Bhagavad Gita 1866 and six aspects real quick. So the very first was accepting Krishna's will. So surrender unto me, right? Means choosing what Krishna wants. That's mentioned in Bhagavad 1866. Rejecting what is unfavorable. So abandon all dharmas, he says in 1866. Let go false shelter. Trusting Krishna's protection. So I shall deliver you. That's what he guarantees in Bhagavad Gita 1866. Depending on Krishna, he maintains us. That's what he says. We don't need material shelters. Humility. He says surrender means acknowledging we need Krishna. Right? In 1866. So surrendering in all situations, do not fear, he says. He guarantees that. Do not fear. So from faith, we come to surrender, and all six surrender. 1866 is the final verse that Krishna spoke, right? So we are developing on this faith to develop faith towards Krishna. And what are we going to do? We are going to surrender unto him, right? So faith is the fuel that drives surrender. No one else, nothing else, like our pride cannot drive surrender. It will just come in between. And just as escape velocity is needed to leave the gravity, right? So Krishna just doesn't ask surrender. He promises protection no matter what. Like he will take care of it. So we should ask question. Are we really truly surrendering, or is there something holding us back? And if there is something holding us back, let's contemplate on it. Let's try to get rid of it, right? And faith is a matter of heart. I would like to just conclude real quick. Faith is like a matter of heart. There is no science to it. And faith develops when we associate with people who have faith. We can only get from a people who has it. We cannot get it from who doesn't have it. What will he give? Nothing. Probably he'll give some material notes to us. This is, we go invest in the land there. That is perfect. So who are those good, like, people who we can associate with, and they can they can increase our faith towards Krishna, right? One of them is our guru, right? So Satyadhara Prabhu we have, right, as a Siksha Guru. So we can associate with him more. We do that, right? To develop on faith, right? The other thing to strengthen our faith is to have knowledge. Knowledge is what? Swadhyaya Yajna. So our Swadhyaya should be very important. So by knowing the greatness, the sweetness of Krishna, we get closer to him. We would like to serve him as a cowherd boy, or whatever you feel like, whatever relation you want to have with him. You serve him, but as a mood of surrender, right? And then we try to do personal connections with him. And those personal connections we can reflect during our japa. So the third aspect to strengthen our faith is chanting, sadhana. So Swadhyay, sadhana, right? And Guru, Swadhyay, sadhana, right? And sadhana practice, all other false shelter goes away from our mind. Like if we sincerely, as I was talking, sincerely chanting will take out a lot of things and will bring us close to Krishna. And that comes gradually by chanting. And the very powerful tool to strengthen our faith is to pray. Just cry in front of him. Just glorify him. Right? So today morning, I like to sing our stanza. I do that every day. So Arati was like, oh, you should speak, somehow include that. So I guess it came. So I don't know what you... I would like to sing that real quick, if that's okay. If that's okay. So you can pray to Krishna. Kararavindena padaravindam mukharavindena viniveshayantam vatasya patrasya pute shayanam balam mukundam manasa smarami. He Krishna, He Adava, He Sakheti, Govinda Damodar Madhaveti, Jibhe Pibaswamrita Metadeva, Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. So these are different names of Krishna. We can meditate during our chanting. We can pray, we can cry, we can glorify, we can do whatever we want to develop that faith. This will help us strengthen our faith. Right? We have to pray to Krishna. And we can also pray, hey Krishna, I don't have staunch belief in you. What should I do? Can you please guide me so that I can be a strong believer in you? I can serve you better. I can surrender better. Right? This can be also prayer. Right? We have prayers from our Shastras. We can use that. Or we have whatever prayers you think is right, or whatever negative things you have, you tell to him, this is what is getting between you and me. What should I do? Please. But still in a surrender, not like, hey, Krishna. Not like that. Be in a surrender bhav. Right? So, we talked about Guru, Swadhyay, Sadhana, prayer. Right? This all comes under ABCD as well. Association of devotees, books, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, C as in chanting, sadhana, D as in diet, prasadam. How can we forget about that? Okay. So, this all things we should do regularly, every day, with a surrender mood to increase our faith. And Krishna guarantees the faith will develop surrender, and if we surrender, Krishna will give protection. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, I guess. Thank you so much. And one more thing I would like to say. If there is any, I have misspoken anything, please forgive me as your child. And if you have liked something, it's all glory to Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Maharaj and Satyadhar Prabhu. So it's not me. It's all coming from our scriptures as a teaching of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Any questions, comments, reflections?
Yeah, Mera.
My question is that how do we get pride?
I think we get attached to the service we do, and that way we sometimes think that, oh, I do this for my satisfaction and not for Krishna's satisfaction. We don't try to keep Krishna in middle. If we try to keep Krishna in middle, let Krishna take the pride. Otherwise, that pride has to go somewhere. If we don't keep Krishna, Krishna comes out, that pride comes to us. And that's how we develop on pride. Does that make sense?
And my other question is that how do we how do we know who is a fake spiritual master or a fake devotee and who is not a fake devotee?
Sure. I'll talk about spiritual master first. So as I discussed in the class, there are 4 bona fide sampradayas, right? Sri Vaishnavas, Nimbarkas, Madhvas, right? We come under Madhvas, Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So if there is a disciplic succession coming from this 4 sampradayas, any one of this, then they are good. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, for sure, they are fake, or they want, again, coming back to pride, they want pride so that people can follow them with their concocted way of teaching, so that people can follow them and serve them and not have Krishna in between. So if spiritual master is coming under disciplic section of this 4 sampradayas, then you close your eyes and surrender. Okay. How do you know about a fake devotee or not a fake devotee? I would always start in a surrender mood. Even if he's fake or not, let's not start with that. If he's fake or not fake. Right? Let's start with he's serving Krishna. So I'm also serving Krishna. We have the same motive. Let's do it together. But there will be differences. It's not that the differences won't come, right? Differences will come. Let them do it their way, but at the same time, you don't have to go debate on them or fight with them or anything like that. And if you think they are fake, That's okay. You can see what you can do is, like, if you feel that, you can go talk to them. Prabhuji, how is your sadhana going and whatnot? And you'll come to know, and then you can try to preach, saying, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is helping me. Maybe you should do this too. Does that make sense? So let's not start with a fake devotee. Let's start with, they are serving Krishna, we will all serve Krishna together. But you actually felt that, oh no, it's something is disconnected. Let's talk to them. Let's see if they can come from fake to real. Let's try to bring them to real. Does that helpful? Is that helpful? Okay.
Yeah, we can take one more question. Yeah.
Oh, a difficult one, I guess.
In any circumstance, if you do get pride, how do you get rid of it?
Well, the very first and the difficult thing is to know that it is pride. We won't know that there is pride. So the very first thing, the very first step is to know that this is pride. And this is wrong. That's the second step. First, to know that this is pride, and the second thing, that this is wrong. And if you realize that, you will automatically fix that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So these are two things. Realizing that this is pride and realizing that it is wrong, you will automatically fix it. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can keep it or ask another question.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any more questions? Anyone? Matjis, Prabhu. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. It's a wonderful class.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for nicely explaining the importance of faith and for the Nachireda Gacchati. So for the quick progression. Otherwise, there is a progression, and no doubt about it. This process will work, but we want Nachireda Gacchati means we want a quick progression. We need to develop the faith. Thank you for nicely explaining and with various examples. We'll chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhu benefit. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Next,
Prabhupada ki
Jai. We're moving on to the next part of the program. Is Arati. Today Arati Kirtan going to sing by Sevia and Pujari service by Nirmala Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Check. I think I told you.
Yeah, you. You want to keep in my bag? Laptop you want to keep in my bag? You want the height?
Yeah. I missed. Wait a little.
Bro, why it's moving like lighter? Yeah. Hare Krishna, bro.
From this side so that the pujari can do the service.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 जाना दीदी पास चले Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You all go in the middle. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Raya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Yadavaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana, Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana. Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita, Shri Nityananda Shri Advaita Gita, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad 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 Gita. Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः माधवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः विरूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ विरूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ गिरिवर रट रघुनाथ हरि हराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः हरि हराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे राधा गोविंद राधे जय गोविंद राधे दामोदर राधे जय दामोदर राधे राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय मदन मोहन राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gurudev. Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gurudev. Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Please pay your obeisances.
जय नृत्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की नवद्वीप धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की अयोध्या धाम की इस्कॉन ऑफ सेडर पार्क की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की संकीर्तन यज्ञ की बृहद मृदंगा बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम की फूड फॉर लाइफ फूड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम की समवेद भक्त वृंद की गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to assemble devotees all glories to assemble devotees all glories to assemble devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादलाददायिने आया प्रह्लादलाददायिने नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादलाददायिने हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शिलटङ्कानकालये हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शिलटनकानकालये हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शिलटङ्कानकालये हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शिलटङ्कानकालये एतो नरसिंहः परतो नरसिंहः यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहः इतो नरसिंहः परतो नरसिंहः यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहः इतो नरसिंहः परतो नरसिंहः यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहः इतो नरसिंहः परतो नरसिंहः यतो यतो यामि तत्व नरसिंहो पाहि नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे 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 तव कर कमलवरेण अद्भुत शृङ्गार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवदिता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल वरेण अद्भुत शृङ्गार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय प्रह्लाद महाराज 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 नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल
भगवान की जय।